Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here. We're back in this month's event quest. This is 3.1 with the new Ikarus boss, and he's not too bad. He's got Ragnarok, which basically if you stun him, he's going to gain a fury. He's got Fuel the Fire. They will basically become passively unstoppable and then unblockable if they are already unstoppable if they gain a fury. So if you stun them, it's going to gain an unstoppable. He's immune to bleed by the node. He's naturally immune to incinerate and shock. The immune efficient fury, basically if he's immune to something and you give him that, so bleed, shock, incinerate, he's going to gain a fury. He gains furies, he's going to get that unstoppable and potentially unblockable. And then the Kinetic Instigator. So you see I parried that right there, gave him a fury, and he went unstoppable. So I just waited that out. I wasn't planning on pairing with Ronan. But here we've already every time you hit him, he gets these Energize buffs and max up to 10. And so Ronan just cheeses this fight very simply. Basically, you can hit into the block, build up those charges. You can build up your power via Kinetic Instigator. And then he's just stun locked. So I have a rank 4 Ronan. He was Sig 60, I think I showed, coming in. Doesn't really need a super high Sig, but any Ronan will work. And with the buffs on, he hits pretty hard with those crits, and you just keep him stun locked. Just make sure you watch the stun timer and fire off a special within that next combo when it expires or before it expires. You can hit while it's going, so long as the unstoppable is not up. So easy solo there. Yeah, cheeses that pretty good. That's not my most fun / ideal fight, but does get the job done easily. And you do take advantage of the nodes and the champ in play. So there's Ronan. Next up, we're gonna go in with Mojo, and then in this chapter 3.1 and 3.2 I just showed, I picked up a revive. I think I picked up 5 or 6 revives total between chapter 3.1 and 3.2, which was very surprising. So be on the lookout for those. If you need them, make sure you go down a path that has a revive on it if you haven't finished it. I'm going to go in with Mojo. Mojo I felt was going to be a kind of a fun option. The one thing is if I do get the stun prompt, which I don't know that I actually do get the stun prompt at all. Maybe I do get it once. You can't stun him, you just got to wait out that unstoppable. But this guy gets a lot of buffs. So, you can complete prompts and regen fairly easily. Granted, the regen that Mojo has isn't great. This is a Mojo coming in without any ramp up. He's got no charges, so I'm trying to complete the prompts while we're going through this fight. And you can see I get to 4, and then for whatever reason I cannot stay close to this guy enough to where I complete this dex, and I keep blocking and I get another one, so I lose all of my prompts there. I do get one right there, but it was too late. But I think that happens like 2 more times. So here we get another dodge a hit, and I don't know, I just kept parrying, and I'm trying to dash back, and maybe I'm just not used to this guy's animations or what, but it keeps me from continually failing the prompts. And I really want to get to those 5 followers so that I can get the fury damage. But yeah, I don't think I ever do get up to the 5 followers. The power detonation, if you don't use a mystic champ and that expires, you'll take some pretty decent damage back. Now here I'm trying to spam some L1s, trying to get those end of buff prompt, nullifying one of his Energizes. And if he throws a special with, I think it's 7 or more of his Energize, buffs active, you will take some damage back. So if you're not a mystic, if you're a mystic, it doesn't really matter. And he's gonna be throwing a lot of specials if you can't deal with the Energize. So here we got a hold block. There, we just get it. Oh, so there we go. We did get to 5 followers. Oh, and here he gets to a special 2. I dexed some of it. I hadn't seen that. But it took out quite a bit of my health. And now I got get him over to the wall, which I'm trying to do, but I think we end up failing because we end up parrying him. Then again, I lose all my prompts again. We get the idle prompt, complete that. But I feel Mojo is a fairly decent option. If you keep him to throwing his special 1, he works pretty well. And you can get lots of specials off. It's kind of, the Kinetic Instigator node is kind of fun to just hit into the block and get power. You do get some regen from the power detonation debuff that gets put on you. And yeah, I am gonna die here towards the end. I'm gonna mess up. There, I threw special 2 into the block. Oh yeah, going for an intercept, I get tagged. And then I know I get tagged one more time. I don't make it out of this alive, unfortunately. But Mojo is definitely capable of soloing this. I know that in a couple of these fights, I run into the special 1 a little bit early. And you know, sometimes this guy just seems to not be throwing his specials, while other fights, he seems to be throwing it just fine. Here we go. Yeah, right there. I run right into it. He does incinerate you, but the incinerates are really, really small. And so it's not like you're going to die from those. But I think I run into his special 1 more time. But yeah, keep this guy locked down. Oh, I just run right into a special. Yeah, there we go. So I die, and I think I finish him off with Hood. He's just a rank 1 6-star. I think he could actually do fairly well in this fight. If I were to use him, you can get a bunch of those, I don't even know what they're called, his little hex damnation things from his medium attacks. Get those on him, and then if you're able to detonate that, should be good times. But the one thing you do have to worry about is you can't parry, because then it'll go unstoppable. And there, so I tried to see if that was going to be enough. He only had 10, definitely not enough. I hit into the unstoppable. Luckily, you know, I did it immediately, so the stun wasn't gonna overlap the unstoppable and him smack me. But yeah, if he doesn't throw his specials, you get those falling off. You do get some damage with them being detonated just by expiring, but I think you get more damage if you actually heavy expire them. I could be wrong about that. I haven't used Hood a ton. And I just brought him in because he kind of fit with the team, with Mojo and Voodoo. Has some synergies to get like extra crit damage and whatever. And there again, I run into his special 1. And I think, yeah, right there. There we go. Finish him off with the heavy. So, not the cleanest, but we get him down with an assist. And we got War coming up, which we're actually in right now, up against AGTG. So this will be interesting. Last off-season war. And then next up, we're gonna go in with, I think, Voodoo. Yeah, Dr. Voodoo. Dr. Voodoo is great for this because, you know, again, you get tons of power just by hitting into the block. If you have Mystic Dispersion, I have Mystic Dispersion 3 out of 5, and that's going to help get some energy. I start off with an Intercept. We're going to get him a bunch of those Energize charges, and we're heading to the block, getting some power, and yeah, here we're just gonna try to bait his specials and do our best to not run into it like I have in the past, but I think I do. I actually do not solo this one, I think because I run into a few specials. And I think I was trying to get off some special 2s with some like draft back L2s. And one of them didn't connect, and yeah, I ate it. But Voodoo works great because you can just nullify and turn all those Energize buffs into poisons, into the neuros, and they do quite a bit of damage. Like on that first L1, you know, pretty much took almost 20% off of him with the 10. Now we got 9 more, and they're all ticking 1,000 plus a tick with all those stacked. And there I do eat a heavy. There we get a dash back L1, nullify a bunch of those. We do it again, but we don't have any buffs up. So the one thing is, if you throw off an L3, you get that constant power gain, and I would preferably stick to special 1, and sometimes with the power gain and the Mystic Dispersion, it's going to push you over into L2, L3, and then it kind of just cycles. So yeah, right there I try to dash back and throw an L2, and I think I do that one more time and it doesn't land, and I end up eating a big fist to the face. You know, that one works. Definitely not the most safe method. I should have thrown a special 1 right there, and I didn't. But here we go. Bait the special 1 from him. Nullify a bunch of that. We get pushed back to special 2. Yeah, so there I tried to dash back and throw the L2, and he ended up blocking that. I should have just been more patient. I was trying to get it down quick, but it didn't work out so well. We're going to go back in with Kingpin. Kingpin can shrug off that power detonation. I do have Hood on the team. And Kingpin was great for the paths. He took out most of the fights. I used Nick Fury a few times as well. Between the two of them, they pretty much took everything. And there again, I run into his special 1. It's very simple to just get out of range, but for whatever reason, I just kept running into it. I think I might run into it one more time even with Kingpin. We'll see. And yeah, pretty simple, straightforward fight. Nothing to be too crazy with. Just if you do use a champion that's not Mystic, you do want to have something to deal with the power detonator debuff, and then like when he gets above 7 Energize, taking that energy damage from him throwing specials. So that's pretty much all you really need to be aware of and try to stick to his L1s. So there we go. Next up, we're going in on this one with Aegon, and normally I don't try to charge the heavy. I think I do it once in the fight to get the Furies, but this one's kind of nice. I do have Aegon charged up. I took him up this is like the right middle side path where like there was an Ant-Man, and the Ant-Man was able to get quite a bit just because of the glancing and stuff like that. But you can see he's got over 10 Energize buffs, and so every time he throws a special, I take damage. There you go. I saw that, like 3,000 damage. I did get a heavy off of getting hit, but I didn't charge it, and it really wasn't worth the damage. And yeah, so here I parry. I think I end up parrying a few more times. I don't know, I felt like my dash back on this guy just wasn't working. Yeah, and so here I have built up to a special 3, and this is basically just like a safety net to where I can throw it towards the end, stun him, and just kind of go to town. But he's gonna clip me towards the end here, and you see every special that he throws, because I'm not a mystic. Any champs other than mystics at 7 or more of those Energize buffs, you just take energy damage every time he throws a special. So I'm trying to bait a special. He's not really having it. There we go. So there's another like 3k plus damage. Aegon does shrug off the power detonation. So there I tried to get a heavy, didn't work. And here towards the end, I think I'm gonna try to, I think I might just get hit by a special one again, running into it. Yeah, ran into that one, and then I just totally ate a combo and died. So yeah, not a great showing by any means. I should have been able to take that fight down, but made mistakes. And then we're gonna go in, and I think I finished this one off with Kingpin. Just a little bit of health left. I wasn't gonna go in with Fury because I was going to give him basically a Fury and Unstoppable every time I would hit him with a bleed. So it'd be kind of difficult to get around that. Claire I'm saving for a shot towards the end. So yeah, we're gonna go back in with Kingpin. You know, Kingpin works just fine. Gets that constant healing, kind of offsets some of the damage that you do take when he throws a special, and then you can get those special ones off and have the degens kind of do their work. And yeah, I think we're just waiting for one more special if this guy's gonna throw it. It's kind of interesting that degen, it will prevent the Instigator from you gaining power. I think it has like an ability accuracy reduction on Kingpin's degen. But there we go, we do finish him off. Another fail with an assist. Oh well. We're gonna move on. Next fight. Who are we using for this one? Oh, this one we're gonna use a non-mystic champ and get a solo, and go a different method. So we're going with She-Hulk. So I have Mr. Fantastic on the team. I do get the power sting every time I put a debuff on this guy, and she has a slow, so I can parry heavy, which is super nice. And then once that slow is up, I don't have to worry about the unstoppables or parrying or anything like that. And yeah, you're gonna see me nice and say, I think I do run into a special one. Yeah, right at the beginning. I might even do that one more time. Maybe not. Maybe the rest of the damage that I do take is from his specials, you know, stinging, doing some damage by having, yeah, no, there. I run into his special, and I keep doing that. I don't know what it is. I don't have the timing down. Being too impatient, but I can get the power stings on him every time I put a debuff. So when I parry, when I hit him with a heavy to put a slow on, if we get any exhaustion debuffs on, you can see it caps at 3, so one parry heavy will give him 3 debuffs and get those 3 power stings. So now we're just gonna have him throw special. There we go. We got a couple more. Boom, another heavy, get the slow reapplied. And we're gonna end up killing this guy basically with the combination of him getting power stung and then just She-Hulk doing some decent damage and kind of getting around those unstoppables by stunning him. And yeah, so She-Hulk is a decent option if you feel like you don't have the mystics to do it. Throw Mr. Fantastic on the team to get those power stings. And then, you know, if he does throw enough specials quickly, you can really build up the Furies. You can see that I got 5 now, and it should be fairly easy to, you know, keep active once, because they act as a taunt. I think it's like a 15% taunt per fury, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to help just to keep him throwing specials. Let's see if I can look at She-Hulk's abilities. Passive, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Where is it in her thing? Yeah, it's 15%. 15% taunt per fury. So, in any case, She-Hulk does do the job. We get through it, get the solo. Not the cleanest, but definitely can get the job done. Next up, last one, we're going to go in with Black Widow Clairvoyant. I do have a couple synergies in play with Mephisto to make, you know, if I put an Incinerate on somebody and they're immune, I get a slow. And then I have the senior discount synergy with Vision Arcus to where specials cost 15% less, so I can throw them off more frequently. And I'm going to be throwing off a ton of special 2s, stay in Hellfire mode, get the energy damage on him. You can see I nullified all of those Energize buffs on him, and I got a ton of power, got a ton of charges. Trying to bait out a special. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going, and I can end with a medium, or I could do a heavy, and that would apply a slow because of the Mephisto synergy. And it could be Mephisto, Torch, or Sunspot. My Sunspot and Torch were in Alliance Quest, so I didn't use them. See there, you can see you can parry heavy, not have to worry about the passive Unstoppable. And yeah, we're just gonna keep burning this guy down with some special 2s, do our best to not run into his special ones like I have before. We're gonna get off a pretty big L3 here. We had quite a few of the charges active. I think it was 16. I didn't have the max 20 because I lost some of them because I was nullifying the Energizes. But yeah, decent damage there. And now we do have no charges to kind of deal with. We want to get back to special 2 so that we can nullify some of those Energize buffs. And we're going to shoot back up here after this special 2. So we're going to throw it. He's got 6, 5, boom, a whole bunch of Mystic Dispersion from those Energizes falling off, and then the senior discount costing 15% less. So we can just throw a lot of specials with Claire with this setup. And I think I only had Kingpin for the path, and he pretty much wrecked everything with Hood on the team. So it worked really well to get 3 slots for the synergy. Although you don't need the synergy. I mean, I think if I were to do Claire to make it easiest, I think I would either have Torch, Sunspot, or Mephisto on the team for the synergy to get the slow. The senior discount one was just kind of a bonus with Vision Arcus. But yeah, we get this guy down. Nothing too difficult. Let me know who you guys used. Did you just cheese it with Ronan every time? I know that's a really quick and easy way to do it. Or did you use somebody else that had an interesting interaction? Let me know. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this helped some if you're looking for some options, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.